The Ritual's pretty cool. A couple weeks ago, I asked, holy moly, a couple weeks ago? I gotta get it together, man. I can't keep being so inconsistent. Alright. From this point onward, I'll be uploading a new movie/TV related video once a week. I've been meaning to commit to this schedule for a while, but now I'm obligated to because I just told all of you that's what I'm gonna do. With all that out of the way, I'm really glad y'all got me to watch The Ritual. Based on the 2011 novel, The Ritual was released on Netflix back in 2017. The film follows a group of friends traveling the King's Trail in Sweden. Eventually, the group is fed up with the weather conditions and decide to take a shortcut through the forest. The characters end up realizing the amount of shit they're in because of the shortcut, and hijinks ensue. Before I go any further, I'm gonna be spoiling this film. You should probably leave and go watch the movie. It's better than my critique full of spoilers that's about as valuable as a review of your local Applebee's. That last video pissed a lot of people off. You have been warned! Anywho, the film kicks off with our characters at dinner deciding where they should go for vacation. Without coming to a conclusion, the gang leaves the restaurant and we follow Luke and Rob into a liquor store. Out of nowhere, two men burst in demanding money from the register. Luke gets out of sight but hits a couple bottles and accidentally gives Rob away immediately. The men persist for Rob's wedding ring, he refuses, and unfortunately, he's killed. The film officially kicks off when the gang goes hiking through Sweden in honor of their fallen friend. The first thing I want to get out of the way is how beautiful the scenery is. The film takes place in Sweden, but it was actually shot in Romania's Carpathian Mountains. The location was picked specifically for its natural and settling aesthetic. The setting is definitely unnerving, but I also found it incredibly stunning. These visuals are gorgeous, and the camera work perfectly captured everything that makes these landscapes shine. The only thing reminding you of the tone is the eerie music playing over all these shots. Actually, let me try something. Music can change everything. It isn't just the landscape shots in the beginning though. The film overall has some truly remarkable framing. These shots are visually satisfying. The characters take up the entire screen, but they all have their own specific spots within the composition. Another thing that stood out to me while I was watching was the extremely subtle yet well-placed comedic moments. Like when they try to pour out a drink for Rob with a flask so it takes way longer than it should. Or, this. I'm a big fan of both of these parts. Humor can be used as a crutch sometimes if you're dealing with poorly written characters, but the humor feels natural because of the believable writing and performances. Although we follow the story through the lens of Luke, we get pretty good characterization for everyone else in the group. To put it lightly, Luke's got Survivors Guild, Hutch is the group's leader, Dan's got witch knowledge, and Dom's a pussy. On paper they sound really generic, but all their traits are utilized in entertaining ways. For instance, Hutch is the glue of the group and is doing his best to keep his friends from losing their heads. However, his efforts are only getting them closer to the evil lurking in the forest. At one point the gang seeks refuge in an abandoned shack. They find a creepy ass shrine upstairs but kinda just ignore it. They get some sleep only for every one of them to have bullet sweating nightmares. They storm out of the shack that morning and the first person to shut down any talks about the nightmares is Hutch. Because of how integral his role was to the group, I really wasn't expecting him to be the first one to go. But that's part of the reason I really enjoyed this movie. Now that the guy who got everybody to get their shit together is dead, they're fucked. He might have only been sealing their fate more, but without Hutch, these guys just spiral. I could go on about how much I like these characters and their dynamic for hours. It just really stuck out to me how convincing their relationships were. Now let's talk about the one thing everybody knows this movie for, the motor. Worshipped like a god, the motor sacrifices people wandering the forest, often sparing specific individuals with great pain. In this case, that happened to be Luke. From the beginning of the film, Luke's haunted by the events that corresponded in the liquor store. He blames himself for what happened to Rob and can tell his friends resent him a little bit for not doing anything to help. This is the pain that the motor's attracted to. Luke's reoccurring nightmare is Rob tragically dying while he helplessly watches. After his first nightmare, he wakes up with a pattern punctured into his chest. We're shown later that this is the motor's way of inducting you into its cult. Luke's also the only one that relives a tragic memory. We don't get to see the other characters' nightmares, but Dom explains later that his nightmare was him being killed by the motor seconds after seeing his wife, which is exactly what happens to him. Judging by the characters' reactions after their first nightmares, it's safe to say they all saw their own deaths or something along those lines. Everything about this creature is fascinating. Its horrifically unique design mixed with the way it toys with its victims helps this thing go down as one of my favorite movie monsters ever. It's also just hidden in plain sight throughout most of the film. I love that kind of stuff. I think my only nitpick is that I think it's complete bullshit that Luke was able to escape this thing. It's like the motor just didn't give a shit. Like, you're telling me that no one has ever tried to fight this thing back? I guess maybe not. I'm thinking about it too much. He just hits it with an axe and it works. He doesn't even hit it. He just hits it one time. I do really like the game recognizes game bit at the end, so like I guess I'll let it slide. And I also like the ending. I just, How the hell did he survive this thing? Overall, The Ritual was really enjoyable. I definitely recommend it if you want a good horror film and you haven't seen it. Thanks for pushing me to watch another good movie.